Hello everyone, my name is Ana Raquel. I'm a data science consultant here at BIX Tech, and today we're going to talk about a little bit about generative AI and what you should do before implementing this in your business. But before we dive deep into the implementation process, it's good to remember what is generative AI really? Generative AI is all about creating new content, whether it's image, text, music, or even entire virtual words that didn't exist before. It's like having a virtual artist, writer, or composer at your fingertips. And what sets generative AI apart from other AI technologies? It's its ability to generate new and exciting content rather than just analyzing existing data. So, the generative AI is not limited to what it's been trained on. It has the power to mimic human creativity. Think about it like this. With a traditional AI, you might feed a bunch of pictures of cats and dogs into a model, and it learns how to classify them based on certain features. But through generative AI, you could ask it to create a brand new image of a fantastical feature that's never been seen before. So, blending elements of both cats and dogs in a completely unique way. It's this creative and imaginative aspect of generative AI that makes it so exciting and revolutionary. So it's not about just solving problems or optimizing process. It's about unlocking the full potential of artificial intelligence. Some of the most famous generative AI technologies are ChatGPT, DALL-E, Bard, GitHub, Copilot, Midjourney, and so many others that emerge every day with so many users. But thinking about businesses, why generative AI can be a game changing. For companies who are already using AI solutions, it can really speed up the process of implementing system. Let's take a sentiment analysis, for example. This analysis is used to gather positive and negative sentiments from customer reviews or to monitor what is being said about a brand, for example. Using traditional AI techniques, you have to get hundreds of thousands of samples, get all this data labeled, train a model, build a deployment infrastructure, and call the model to use it. Using an LLM as ChatGPT, you just have to create a prompt and call the model through an API. So while the first implementation could last months, you could have this implemented in weeks or even days in the second scenario. Some of the most common applications of generative AI are text, image, video, or audio generation, translating snippets of text to different languages, improving the quality or changing the style of image, outdated documents, and photos, summarizing information from reports or articles, supporting customers in real time via chatbots and virtual assistants. And every day, this list increase, and several companies integrate AI into their business. Some examples to illustrate how companies are benefiting from generative AI. Expedia, for example, one of the world's most popular travel planning websites, has integrated generative AI as a conversational assistant into its service. So this means that rather than searching for flights, hotels, or destinations, customers can plan their vacations as if they chatting with a friendly travel agent. Also, the Expedia apps creates smart lists of hotels and attractions that the customer might be interested in. And another example is Duolingo, which is a language education specialist. It has released a feature that enables students to get elaborate explanations of why the answers were correct or incorrect, like they were talking to a human tutor. And the other feature, very cool, allows students to practice their language skills by role playing with AI personas. That could be a barista ordering drinks from a Parisian cafe, for example. The personas have their own unique personalities and backstories. The users can learn about them and interact with them. And this is only possible because of generative AI. A great example in image generative models is Adobe. Adobe has launched Firefly, a family of creative generative AI models that act as a co-pilot to create and design workflows. You can recolor image, generate new image, add new objects into an image, or remove an existing object, for example, all based on a text description. Another example is the industry sector. AI has been used to detect anomalies or predict equipment malfunction. With generative AI, a company can test its products against failures that never happened before. Isn't that amazing? This is what Merck, a pharmaceutical company, is already doing. They are using synthetic defects images created by generative AI to train defect detection AI models in order to increase the chances of detecting diverse manufacturing issues. So these are just a few examples, but the potential applications of generative AI are virtually limitless. And we are like to see even more innovative use cases emerge in the future. And now we get to the main point here. How can we implement generative AI? What is the step by step of this implementation process? Well, first, we need to identify specific business needs and use cases. As powerful as generative AI is, the models are only useful when solving the right problem. So it's very important to choose a use case that will add value to the business. Setting real business metrics to calculate a return of investment, that could be a number of new customers, time saved from repetitive tasks. For example, let's consider marketing agents, for example. Generative AI could be used to customize marketing campaigns, to create new branding elements, or to generate content to social media, to predict consumer behavior, build trend analysis. The second step will be choosing the right type of generative AI. This depends on your use case, the type and quality of data that your organization has, and the resources you need to train and deploy the model. If you aim to create content to social media, you need a text generative AI. If you need to create new branding material, you need an image generative AI. So you can choose between open source model like Llama or a paid model like ChatGPT. You can either use a base model, fine-tune with your own data, or you can build a model from scratch if you have a very customized use case. So it all depends on the specific use case of your company and the resources you're willing to expand. The third step would be collect and pre-process data. This step is particularly important if you're going to fine-tune a model. Fine-tuning a model is using a pre-trained model and adjust its parameters using your specific data. So generative AI models require a large amount of high-quality training data, so it's important to ensure that the data is relevant, diverse, and representative of the real-world phenomenon. Imagine a marketing agents wants to generate engaging Instagram captions for the client posts. The agency starts by collecting a vast number of existing Instagram captions across different industries such as fashion, food, travel, lifestyle. They also gather demographic data on the clients' target audiences, including age, gender, interests, and purchasing behaviors. This diverse dataset provides the model with a broad understanding of the language styles, trends, and preferences relevant to each target audience. So, the fourth step is to create a proof of concept. So, it's very important to start simple rather than integrating a fully trained model into your solution. Start with a model capable of demonstrating these capabilities to get feedback from the target audience. Note that the model may not produce the desired performance, but it allows you to test an idea and gather feedback from real users. A company, for example, wants to use generative AI to evaluate best candidates for a position, for example. And it can start building a solution to an entry-level position with less requirements. Make a model to extract the qualification from the application process and see if it matches with the requirements in the job. And lately, you could add a feature to interpret the level of engagement of the applicant in the job or the match with the company ground values, for example. The fifth step is to integrate the model into business process and data. This can involve deploying the model to a cloud-based service, building custom software to interface with the model, or integrating company documents and knowledge with database. You also need to establish procedures for data input, model output, and error handling. And the sixth, or final step, is to monitor and adjust the model over time. So, generative AI models can be prone to errors and biases, and their performance can degrade over time as real world data shifts and increases. So, monitor the model's performance regularly and adjust as is needed. This can involve retraining the model with new data, fine tuning the model's parameters, or implementing new error handling and monitoring processes. As the organization's data grows, you need to scale the model to accommodate it. So it's important to say that these are common and general steps, but depending on your use case or the type of a company you have, the steps can be less or more than I presented here. And that's why it's very important to have a trusted partner to advise you in the process. So that's it. I hope you liked the content and I see you next time.
Did you like what you saw? Then be sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel to keep up with our latest content.